Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Gofberg, and thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the Glashütte Original Senator Navigator. You can see this 44mm vintage aviators-inspired watch on our website, govbergwatches.com. And if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and download our app, Gofberg On Time, for the latest news, views, and reviews, as well as multimedia of luxury watches. Now, on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, this watch has much of the look and the ambiance of the IWC Big Pilots watch, which shares a common historical antecedent with this model, but it's altogether more manageable in its proportions, and in the design of the dial, it's actually truer to the inspiration that the two watches share. 44mm across the round of the case, not including that burly crown. The watch is also a relatively compact 51mm from lug to lug, so it wears easy on a smaller wrist. 51mm, just for reference, contrasts with the 56 to 57 of the IWC Big Pilot, and this is a slim reference, whereas an IWC Big Pilot is about 16mm thick. This one's actually 13.5, and you can see it's got a generously sloped, domed bezel, so you can slide this oversized pilot's watch underneath a tighter sleeve or cuff. It's very versatile in that respect. Now, it's paired with a wonderfully finished calfskin strap that uses an unusual gloss treatment that actually pops beautifully and contrasts to dramatic effect with the slightly ecru vintage style contrasting stitch. Nicely done. There's also a calfskin on the bottom, supple against the skin. It's paired with a relatively ornate pin buckle. This is thoughtfully done. You can see the inset Glashütte Original logo, as well as impressive faceting and contrasting finish. Again, this is not a default design. Effort went into making this look special, and so did essentially the design intent of the stylists who drew this tribute to the B-er. I say it's a tribute to the B-er because unlike the 2002 to present IWC Big Pilots watch, this one really does hew close to the source material. So saying it was designed perhaps is a bit of an exaggeration. This watch was translated from history because the Luftwaffe B-er watches were essentially what you see here, and as of 2016, IWC has released a number of commemoratives that perhaps match Glashütte's precedent of reissuing the image of the B-er, but it's important to remember this family of watches launched in 2008. IWC has only gotten with the program as of 2016. Now, all of the calibrations, again, historically inspired, are thoughtfully laid out. You have immense broadsword style hands at center. Everything is generously loomed. Inboard, you can see the hour track. Outboard, the seconds and minutes. And it's important to note that this is one of the most impressively loomed watches I have ever encountered. Now, let me tell you a little something about the lume of this watch. Although I haven't had universal success with lume shots of sports watches, I'm willing to go out on a limb and give this one a shot because it is truly special. Once you've seen this one, essentially your sense of what an appropriate amount of luminescent material on a sports watch is will be permanently recalibrated. As I promised, Glashutte went all out with this watch. You can see thoughtful details. You can see the luminescent pips of the hour track inboard. Those little indices contrasted beautifully with the brilliant glowing minute and seconds track. You can see the arrow that permanently indicates the index at 12, as well as the thoughtfully loomed seconds hand. Have you ever seen a seconds hand that jumps that readily from a dial? Usually it's a little luminescent pip or dot. Here, the entire body of the hand has been coated with super luminova material. You can see it's intense, it's detailed, and it's different from anything out there today. Again, once you've seen this watch, you realize that the bar for a luminescent dial on a sports watch has been permanently raised. So this watch was worth the effort, and this lume shot actually worked out spectacular. All right, and we're back. Now that we've seen the dial, the second half of this thoughtfully designed and historically inspired sports watch reveals a great deal of modern watchmaking thought and execution. automatic winding. The watch features a 55-hour power reserve, and this comes courtesy of twin mainspring barrels, which you can see poking out from the barrel bridge under my thumb. With twin mainspring barrels, Glashutte has gone for a very even torque release across the full 55-hour power reserve. Now, industry standard is about 42, so not only do you get more than the average, but in this 36 joule movement, you also get a very even and very regular chronometric performance from the point of full mainspring wind to just beyond the cusp of full discharge. That's what having twin mainspring barrels gives you. Now, it is a 4 Hertz or 28,800 vibration per hour beat rate, so modern, contemporary. You can see there's a gorgeous polished swan's neck regulator, a micrometric adjustment device, and the watch has one of the most thoughtful synchronization features. It's not hacking because it doesn't stop the balance and it doesn't interrupt the timekeeping of the watch. But when I press this actuator, I center the seconds hand for precise synchronization, so I can sync this watch precisely and at a moment's notice to a known accurate reference time such as a quartz watch or an atomic clock. This is a thoughtful take on the BR that is decidedly different from IWC's own. It's a watch built by, again, one of the original issuers of the Luftwaffe flight instruments. The BR are built by many manufacturers. This is Glashütte Original's own take. Different, distinct, and delightfully so from IWC's effort. It's also a more wearable timepiece, and distinctly different in as much as it comes from Saxony. You can see this Glashütte Original Senator Navigator and buy it on our website, govbergwatches.com.